Live?
Wait for it to show up on main channel.
On main channel. In before we're like making German noises.
But there's such a good accent.
Oh, there we go. Exited host mode. There we go. Cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for the Crit Damage podcast. No flashy intros. This week it's just Duber and I because we've lost all hope. That connection that she dropped last week must have hit her harder than we thought. Not really. She recovered. Disappeared. She's disappeared. She recovered a PC just fine. It was some fucking weird thing, but she couldn't come back on before the end of the stream, so that's fine. But yeah, it's just Duber and I tonight because Hope is actually attending PAX, so she doesn't actually have the time to sit with us plebs and do a podcast. But hey, and welcome Raptor Shadow, welcome to do the streamcast. Anyway, I'm Hyper,
and I'm Nick, aka Duber TV,
and we've got a bit of a show for you tonight. Podcast. Blah. What do you want to start with, Nick?
Let us hop straight into the news. Now, you're going to take the lead on this one because you were a little upset about Shadow of War, kind of.
Oh yeah,
already laying out its content plans. Which I feel they're a little late when it comes to announcing content plans. This is normally a pre-launch thing.
Doobs is echoing up. Yeah, that's my bad. That's because I had it on desktop audio to record. My bad. I am so sorry about that. Oh shit, we're not recording Audacity.
I am. You can do an intro quickly again. Holy crap! When you
all right, cool. I'm going to launch Audacity. All right, and I'm recording again now. And 3, 2, 1, clap. 3, 2, 1, clap.
Gotcha.
Cool. Right, we're professionals at this, I swear.
Yes.
All right, so, fuck. I was gonna do another intro. All right.
Yes.
Hola, ¿cómo estás, amigos? No, not really. No, hello everyone, and welcome to the Critcast, the live streamcast. I think.
Yeah.
This week it's just Duber and I because Hope is currently attending PAX. That PC knockout really hit her harder than we thought. This is like one of our famous 10-take intros. No shit. Oh my god, those are bringing back the days. I'm Hyper.
And I'm Nick, aka Duber TV.
And today we're going to get straight into our topics for discussion today. The first one that we have on the list, and this is something that I'm really pissed off about. Shadow of War. Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor... Middle-earth, Shadow of War has only been out for a couple of weeks, okay? And they've already detailed an expansion pass and DLC, 4 DLC packs coming up for a game that already has fucking microtransactions. Now, picture that. They released the game, microtransactions where you can buy loot boxes and then get items of various rarity to equip to your character with real money, right? Now they're also doing an expansion pass, so, paying up front for all of the DLC, and then 4 DLC packs to be announced.
Why is this burning you so badly, Hyper?
Because it's fucking one or the other.
I don't know. I think loot cases, loot crates, randomly generated whatevers, or randomly unlocked whatevers, feel like that's the content that's already on the disc. So I guess it depends what the content is that they're adding after it.
So, I mean, if it's an additional story stuff, then great. But I still feel as though it's got to be one or the other. Like the loot crates thing was bad enough. The fact that they had to add microtransactions to a single player game I might add. A single-player game
Yes.
with some online elements. You're hosting again, am I? Did our stream conk out or what? Have a look.
On mine, it's fine.
Let's click that for a sec. No, says I'm still live.
Yeah, mine we're sweet.
Yeah, no, we're still live. Well, this is a great start to the podcast. But yeah, look, for a single player experience to have a triple A single player experience to have not only a microtransactions but also a detailed season pass later on down the track, that is just is like nails to a blackboard for me. It is no, just fucking no. And that's the end of that topic. No, but seriously, what do you think about this, Nick? Because it really pisses me off.
Look, I think developers need to be more upfront about how they intend to deliver content, because I do feel like it is a one or the other thing, and it's got, if you look at the content, it sucks that the single player campaign has microtransactions. What are some of those before I get to on my high horse? What are some of the single player campaign transactions that you can purchase?
So it's gear for your character, for Talion.
Rightio.
So the main character, his name is Talion. He's a ranger. He's known as a Tark to the orcs.
Okay.
But also he is merged with the White Lord, the Bright Lord.
Righto.
Which is an elf, the original elf that made the rings for Sauron.
Yes.
Like he was the one who crafted them, and then Sauron betrayed him.
Yep.
Right. So basically they're merged together. They're both bound together, but you're basically buying loot crates that give you gear that you can equip to your character to make it stronger.
So anything from like, I don't know, like a bronze cuirass or whatever to like a new bow and arrow, stuff like that kind of thing, like pretty standard RPG loot.
Yeah, like more along the lines of MMO sort of rarities. So like common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, those sorts of tiers. And some of them are like guaranteed to drop a certain rarity.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is pretty interesting because Season Pass is pretty much guaranteed, because these big publishers like EA, Activision, Warner Brothers, they're not greenlighting a game now, pretty much unless it has the potential for a sequel. I've heard that if you pitch a game to EA and Activision particularly, if you can't say, yeah, we can make 2 or 3 more of these things, or we can, make one every year for the next 5-6 years, you don't even have a chance. So I think that looking at the game, it was pretty obviously going to have a season pass. The combination, though, of microtransactions and a season pass is what's rubbing me the wrong way. And it's not even to do with the content. It's to do with someone saying, all right, you've given us money to play the game. Here's the game. Okay, you're going to fare much better at the game if you give us even more money. Hang on. We're going to give you even more adventures that you want already for more money. And then I'm not going to be shocked if more loot gets added to microtransactions, so that, you play the base game. Oh, I really want that sword. I'm going to buy it. Then you get to the DLC and it's even friggin' harder. And then yet again, you can buy more microtransactions to succeed at the DLC. So it is indeed a combination. It's got nothing to do with like microtransactions on their own, because I will ignore those if I feel that the content is, if the campaign is difficult and forces me to buy them, I would be miffed. But most of the time, you can dodge them. People who are super pressed for time, Hope said last podcast, if you're super pressed for time and you just want to enjoy the game, then those are an option. Then again, back in my day, we had more than one difficulty. So
yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
it's not permanently or set for everyone.
Exactly. Like I'm playing The Evil Within 2. I just started it this afternoon. It has casual mode, and I'm like, that's probably best for the review that I play casual mode. But I'm experiencing normal difficulty, which apparently is a little more survival horror-y. So, but yeah, it just feels like enough is enough. And it's a shame because with a Shadow of War, because it looks like it to be a great game. Like, it does look like an entertaining title.
It's a shitload of fun.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, it's fun to play, to run around and just cut up orcs, do all this. Like, it does feel a little bit samey sometimes because you're just mashing, what is it, either X or square.
Is it?
On
it's open world,
PS4. Yeah? It's open world to an extent. Like, what is it? Not Mordor. Middle Earth is divided up into regions where you play in one of those regions, and that is open world to an extent. Like, it's Assassin's Creed sort of open world.
Okay, so like you go, because in Assassin's Creed you started off somewhere small in Italy and then ended up in Rome, and there was a bigger area, but still, like, they weren't all
connected.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with this. Like, they're all sort of divvied up. And you can jump between the two different levels, like the two different sections, because you have to as part of the campaign. I haven't got to the end of the campaign to really need the microtransaction shit yet, but so I can't really comment on that. Like what you were saying before about if you got to end game and it was a case of that you needed it to succeed. I can't confirm that, but it's the fact that it still exists pisses me off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's been more annoying additional like purchases than Deus Ex having the ability to literally buy experience levels, which is just fucking shit.
Like the level of greed when that game was released was fucking paramount.
Man,
do you remember the pyramid scheme that they had for like the pre-orders, like
the reward tiers? I do indeed.
Yeah, that's it. If everyone pre-ordered to a certain amount, they would unlock this day one, or that sort of shit. Like,
we'll add this bonus if we get 30,000 pre-orders. If we get 40,000 pre-orders, we'll do this and this and this.
Like, it's not a fucking Patreon.
But also, who do you value? Like, you're meant to value the individual gamer. You're meant to want to win over someone who hasn't played one of these games before. Like, the older Deus Ex guys were pretty much a given because it was such a unique and such a rare experience, Deus Ex, that, of course, we were probably going to check out the new one. And it just feels like you just won over all these people a few years ago, and you're basically slapping them in the face.
Yeah.
And it sucks, man, because I'm a Cyberpunk guy, and the Cyberpunk gaming landscape now, it's so different. It's cool, there's so many little niche things, but in terms, there's nothing quite like what Deus Ex is doing, and it's a shame that there's no rival game that I can turn to and go, oh, well, I'm going to play this one now for all my sneaky first-person/third-person stuff. There's nothing like that. You're pretty much playing this, or the side-scroller Dex, or you're playing Satellite Rain, which feels like Syndicate Wars. It's just... yeah, it's a shame to play the game, and it was a feeling that you can't shake. It's like, this isn't the game I know.
I don't know. Everyone was skeptical to Human Revolution until the leak, says Raptor Shadow.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point, Raptor Shadow. Everyone was skeptical until pretty much they got their hands on it, I believe. Like your hardcore fans. But, I don't know. When it comes to... see, Invisible War I liked. I'm just throwing it out there, Raptor Shadow. Hello, Bessie J. Welcome to the Streamcast, podcast, vidcast, thingacast.
Just want to quickly pop in here. Thank you, Inferno Panda. Welcome to the stream, buddy. When the actual stream for like Dead by Daylight begins later on, I will replay the resub because it doesn't come through on the podcast. So when the actual stream comes up, I'll click the replay button and you'll get to see a little notification.
Hello, Autumn Fire 86. Jeez, this is
Autumn Fire
going off. But yeah, to get back on the point, I just feel like people need to be a bit more upfront and a bit more honest about it. But as the combination of things, it's just like, I don't know. I can't think of any other kind of financial model that's similar to this. Like, you're not buying a pizza and then paying for it to have cheese on it and then paying for the sauce when you already have the pizza. Like, you're getting a fucking complete pizza when you order it. It kind of is pissing me off more and more that we're getting less and less and less for games, and there's more and more ways to charge us for them.
What would be the absolute cherry on the top? And I say this with, maximum reservation. What is it? Charging us for the game, the full price.
Yep.
You're in Australia, roughly $90 to $110, depending on what you're getting it on.
Yep. Australia
tax. Fucking G. Then going with in-game microtransactions for real money. Then launching a season pass with 4 planned DLCs, and then throwing a monthly subscription on top of it. That's console in a fucking nutshell.
Do you know what? And then chuck in some product placement as well, just in the game. Was it Battlefield 2144? Help me out. I don't know what it was.
2142, I think it was.
Yeah. Did that have ads that played while you're playing the game?
Yes, it did.
Oh, I remember. I worked at JB Hi-Fi when that happened, and there were just visibly people walking in, pissed off, and returning the game and telling me all about it. And I had no idea. I would have warned them if I did.
I think Counter-Strike 1.6 does as well.
I don't mind with some things product placement. Like Shenmue kind of recouped a lot of its development costs by having product placement in games. And I think Rainbow Six Vegas 2, when it had real movie posters at a convention center, it did kind of add to the immersion, not going to lie. And I'm glad they got some money doing that. But yeah, holy shit. Games.
Hey, Hawkmeister, thank you for the follow.
Hey,
much appreciated.
But yeah, games as an art form, is it still a thing in this day and age? Outside of the indie scene, because I love me some indies.
Sorry, gonna get you to repeat that?
Games as an art form, it's just, I don't know. They're making way too much money for anyone to take any risks artistically now.
Yeah.
Actually, well, it's funny though. We've just kind of hit a correlation there between these already existing franchises that seem to be the ones that are hit harder with microtransactions and things like that. Like you're going to slide them under the rug and no one will notice.
Because the reason is they've already established a fan base to really be able to, as you said, rip the rug from out underneath them. If it was a brand new IP doing it, people would be like, no. Because they would actually have to hide that shit until release. And then they'll be like, people like, what the fuck? Why is it, what?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's why everyone was noticing it too with Battlefront 2 during the beta. It wasn't quite like that first time round. Why is it like this second time round? And again, I said before, this doesn't feel like my Deus Ex. There's something not quite right about it. And then the second you're done with the first, area, mission, world, whatever, you're hit with a tutorial, and then, hey, you can buy level ups. I feel, I don't know. It's a shame because you almost build a relationship. And if you're a full-on nerd like us, you probably like the developers on Facebook, you probably follow the games on Facebook, you're probably commenting and getting amongst the communities, and then we're going to totally change the experience to make more money.
I tell you what, company Facebook pages are the worst things I've ever seen. Like, just the comment section for any post that's put on is littered with hate.
Yeah, it's a shame that you're pretty much... I think that's why you hire marketing people, not so much like the developers from the game don't do it themselves, unless it's like a small indie studio, because I don't know if people are built for that unless you go to work with a salt-proof vest and you work in community management.
Salt-proof vests, like it's a shotgun shell filled with salt.
Basically.
Guys in the chat, what do you guys think of the news of Middle-earth Shadow of War getting, not even 2 weeks into its lifetime, getting microtransactions, but also a season pass with 4 planned DLCs to be in? What do you guys think? Yeah,
definitely let us know.
All right. So the next topic that we're going to move on to, this one's yours, Nick. So carry away.
Cool. All right. So I got a little bit excited when I saw that we are able to gift games on Xbox Live now, which is I think I suggested this because there's a section on the Xbox website where it's like, what would you like to see added to the service? And I think people suggested music streaming, and they suggested, yeah, let's be able to gift each other games. In some cases, the more things are like Steam, the better, I feel. So yeah, you're able to gift games to your friends on Xbox Live. It comes up in the store with just purchase for myself or purchase as a gift, and then you're off. You can send it to someone in a message. So I think that's pretty cool. I've always kind of, people's birthdays rock around, and it'd be cool. If only you could chip in with mates, though, you know, so that you're not just... I mean, you could just get everyone to pay you back, I suppose, but it'd be cool if everyone could chip in and buy someone a game on Xbox Live.
Yeah, look, yeah, that was a similar thing when it comes to Steam for me. Like Steam being able to give people games. Like I've gifted Raspberry Sheep or Pyro, my partner, a copy of Dead by Daylight. I've gifted a friend of mine a copy of Dead by Daylight. You know, half of my purchases have been gifts for other people that I've either seen on sale or, you know, said, hey, I want you to come play with this with me.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's a copy of the game. That makes it so much better. And the fact that it's now being brought to Xbox, that's great. I'm not sure if PS4 has it yet, though. I can't remember.
Sometimes PS4, I feel like Sony, I do love my PlayStation 4. There's a lot of things I love and prefer over PC and Xbox with it, but I feel that they kind of aren't risk takers with some things, particularly their online service. I think they kind of wait to see how other people are doing their things, and then they jump on it when it's become popular enough or sustainable enough. So,
monthly fee to be online.
Oh, come on. You know you get a better product for it. Maybe not.
Fuck off. The fucking PlayStation Network is the same piece of trash that has been since the PS3.
Well, it was meant to be a better product.
Meant to be, and it's still the same fucking garbage.
Sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I prefer it over Xbox Live. It's easier to find some things on there, and it's less salesy. Like, I can't stand that on Xbox Live. I have to scroll past shit that I just don't care for. Like the TV and video, and it's so shoppy. And now it's even more shoppy because it's pretty much like the Microsoft Store on PC, like on Windows 10 and on Xbox. I'm looking at my little icon. Yep, Microsoft Store. But yeah, I don't know. I think that gifting is a good idea and that people should get amongst it. When it comes to those games that your friends aren't going to take a risk on, you could make a bet, you know, like if you don't enjoy Ark Survival Evolved, which most young kids are really getting into, then yeah, just buy it for someone and just make a bet with them. If you don't enjoy this, then yeah, whatever, I'll wear the cost.
But if you do wear it, like if you do enjoy it, you're going to pay me back for it?
Yeah, I'm that kind of friend. Yeah, did you like that cup of coffee? All right, $5, buddy. Actually, that's something you and I should do. We should make bets about games that are surprisingly enjoyable. And then
100% satisfaction, or it's free.
Oh my god! I just went trashing people about money, and I'm just turning into a real Scrooge. But yeah, so I already know what I'm going to gift, and this is where my second piece of news comes into it. Is that the Xbox original games, so not Xbox 360 or Xbox One, but Xbox OG, the big black VCR box thing. Those games are on Xbox Live as well now, so I'm actually going to be gifting people Fusion Frenzy, because that is a shit hot party game that should never have stopped being made.
A shit hot party game that should never have stopped being made.
Yeah. I mean, it's goofy, but it's still like, it's something that should be on Xbox One now. Like, there should always be, I don't know, the things that Nintendo do well, like kart races and party games, everyone should at least have an attempt once per console cycle, I personally feel. Except Sony's, what was it? That PlayStation All Stars? That was not great. All Stars Battle.
Oh, the fighting game that
Uncharted,
got, like Nathan Drake
beat the shit out of
Sackboy, Male Raddick from Killzone, and that sort of shit.
Yeah, that was a bit weird if you don't have enough mascots. But yeah, so Xbox original games are here, but not only are they available, they're also slightly enhanced. So, like HDR enhancements and things like that, the games are currently getting on the Xbox One X are also being applied to Xbox original games. And there's comparison footage. Can you copy the link into the chat and people can see it?
Yeah, 1 second.
Cool, man. But yeah, so there's comparison footage between the Xbox original gameplay and the Xbox One X enhanced gameplay.
You're talking about the HD remakes and ports one, yeah?
Yes.
Have a look at that one, folks.
Yeah. So I was particularly impressed with the lighting and the shading differences on Knights of the Old Republic, as well as Fusion Frenzy. It looks really, really good. And yeah, I guess at this point I'm going to say I'm hoping that the Time Splitters games that are on Xbox Original are available for purchase, because I will buy them instantly. I have them floating around, but for $10, I might as well buy it digital and have a physical and a digital copy as well. Were you an Xbox Original guy back in the day, Hyper?
I was. I had the original Xbox, and I had Star Wars Obi-Wan, Max Payne, WWE Raw.
Yeah, I had Raw.
The first Raw. That was so much fun.
It was fun, but
I
it was
sucked
a
at it
weird
so
engine.
badly. Oh, yeah, did you notice how slow they punch people?
Everything was slow. You were running like you were jogging on the spot in slow motion. Everyone felt really heavy and sluggish, and everyone handled the same.
Yeah, and I think I had a few other games as well, but my mum's ex-boyfriend at the time, when he left living with us, he nicked it, and then...
Son of a bitch. He was addicted to that Midtown madness.
But I think the game that I spent the most amount of time on was Max Payne.
Oh, man, what a game.
See, I've got it on PC, I just can't bring myself to play it again.
I would honestly be up for a remake of that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
just like the semi-comic book style storytelling.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I guess because bang...
This is my life now. Oh my god. No! Sarah! No!
His weird nightmare sequences that were horrible.
Oh.
Running along blood. I don't know, it's a good idea. But yeah, so that was the first topic I wanted to bring up, was HD remakes versus just ports, or enhanced ports, I guess we could say. So HD remakes... Well, no, let's talk about ports first. With a port, just say, like Knights of the Old Republic, do Xbox have to go to BioWare and say, we want to re-release this? Or is this basically, it's on the Xbox library, so they're okay to re-release it?
I think they would have to approach Disney first, because it's a Star Wars license.
Alright, that's a complicated process.
Who was it? Aspia Media, they re-released it for Android, which I play Knights of the Old Republic on Android.
Actually, yeah, I know their games. They do a lot of ports.
Yeah. They ported it to Android, and it plays pretty decently on Android.
Yeah, cool.
I think I've... where did I get up to? I think I got up to the Jedi Enclave on... No, I got up to Tatooine on the Android version. But yeah, for the Star Wars franchise specifically, they'd need to approach... I was about to say Telstra, but no. They would need to approach Disney first, because, they're pretty much just like Telstra. Say, hey, we want to... re-release this on thing and charge for it, and they would have to agree to a certain licensing or something like that. It's why we never got GoldenEye remastered. We need Nintendo, Microsoft, and Activision to agree.
I'm going to organize some sort of industry barbecue, and I'm just going to have GoldenEye 64 in the backyard somewhere with a TV, so that people can just all come together and shake hands and realize that, yes, this is the game that has not left many of us and shouldn't leave ever. GoldenEye Source is pretty goddamn close if you like the multiplayer. I'm
surprised that hasn't been fucked over.
GoldenEye Source, taken down and...
Yeah, so if you would look at it the various Nintendo remakes of Pokemon, like Pokemon Online and all that other shit.
Yes.
They all get wrecked.
Yeah, they do actually.
By... the IP lawyers and stuff like that. They'd be like, no, this is our intellectual property. You can't do that. Cease and desist, takedown notice, that sort of shit. I'm surprised GoldenEye Source hasn't had that happen yet.
Yeah, actually, that's a pretty interesting point. I guess it's because it doesn't have so many of the assets of the original because there's no single player campaign. And there's, I mean, you still have your likenesses of your actors and things like that. But I don't know. I guess that's kind of how they get away with it. ... For now. Geez, the comments section is going off.
I know, right?
Yeah, no, we do need everyone to agree. Raptor Shadow, you raise an interesting point. It's didn't just while we're tumbling down the rabbit hole of GoldenEye and weird projects, didn't EA think they had the rights to it, but they didn't, and that's why they made that GoldenEye. Was it Double Agent or Rogue Agent or something like that?
Oh, I remember that on the GameCube.
Yeah, they thought that they had the rights to re-release GoldenEye, and they didn't, so they were stuck with a license, but not a game. So they tried to make a guy whose codename was GoldenEye, because he had a literal golden eye, and it was a fucking mess. It was
the things they do to get around, legalities.
Yeah, and it had an awful engine, and it was just, yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't say it was awful. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was decent.
I guess more so it didn't compare to a lot of other shooters that were out at the time, really. Played awkwardly. But, a lot of GameCube, you'd be surprised how well something's played on the GameCube and, like, some shooters.
To be perfect, like, coming back to the whole subject, though, of, HD remakes versus ports.
Yes.
I myself would prefer a HD remake over a port any day.
I would
simply because the effort that goes back into recreating that and potentially putting it onto a newer engine could have, vastly improved playability. I had the words in my head and I lost it.
No, I think you're going to get. It depends how it's done, because some remakes, people look at the they look at the visuals that have been updated and they don't quite agree with some of them. But then people look at other ones like the Darksiders collection, which has been remastered and quite nice. And I think that I always want a game to be in a decent resolution, whatever I'm playing it on, and that's kind of the bare minimum for me in terms of like rebuying a game, is if I can play it on something, digital, so I don't have to get off my ass and swap games, and it looks decent. But I would prefer HD remakes and I would prefer some of the original developers to be on board, because a lot of the time the poor HD remakes are the ones where they were outsourced to someone else. I'm still very badly...
Aspia.
Oh, mate, I'm still very, very badly burnt by Tony Hawk HD, which was... Jesus.
I don't mind that.
Nah, like, it just didn't feel quite right. And on Xbox 360, it just did not run well. And don't get me wrong, I speedrun the game every now and then, because it's just got, like, the best tracks and all that from Tony Hawk. But, yeah, I just feel that they should have got Neversoft involved, but Neversoft have been absorbed into other studios at Activision, so they were unavailable because they were making Transformers games or whatever.
Skate Master Race represent. I thought the face part was like, a reference to faces grinding against the concrete and just like completely smearing off skin.
No, that's my rap name, Skate Master Face.
Skate Master Face, yo. Do us a freestyle.
Fuck no, I'm not.
Do us a fucking freestyle.
Why? Why do you do this to me? Because I owned that Def Jam karaoke game. That was a thing.
Def Jam Vendetta, the wrestling rap game.
No, they had another one where it was like Guitar Hero and all that, but it measured your rap and your flow, and yeah, it didn't sell very well. Went straight to the bargain bin when I was at JB. But yeah, what would be easier in terms of like making money and supplying people with games, like getting games to consumers quickly? I guess, would ports be easier, or do you think an HD remake?
I reckon a HD remake.
Really? I think with ports, all you have to do is just get everyone's okay, and then just... Oh, but then again, I'm forgetting that console publishers, a lot of new publishers, struggle with emulating old games.
Yep.
So it might be actually easier to have an HD remake.
Not to mention that, like, when they do a port, it comes with the same fucking shit bugs that affected it the first time around.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they can work through those bugs. You know, say like, oh, this community hated this particular section. Cough, cough. EA, cough, cough. What's that game? Alice Madness Returns. The glitch that doesn't let you go past a certain level with the pepper shaker gun. Umbrella block. Umbrella block on PC.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, like on PC, you can't get past a certain area because like it doesn't work.
That's a real shit fact. That sucks. That's goddamn awful. It's such a great game. I played it on 360, and I was going to buy it on Steam.
Oh, there's a very interesting point from Raptor Shadow. I mean, I don't mind the way that it's going on with the back catalog for Microsoft with the lower price point. But if they're going to charge full price, they should be putting the work into a full re-release.
Yes,
spot on.
I suppose too, if the re-releases like the ports, I don't know. You could end up in some nasty legal trouble and like make enemies, I guess. Because imagine if Microsoft were like, "Oh yeah, we're going to sell this full-priced port, and it's now it's got HDR and the lighting looks better, but it's still like 4:3 aspect ratio and still the same game." But then imagine if someone they saw the popularity was there, so then they did an HD remake of their game, and then you would have people getting burnt by that.
Yeah.
So like, just imagine if BioWare took their heads out of their butts for 1 second and then remade KOTOR on like an engine that takes all the benefits of the Mass Effect games, but it's KOTOR. I suppose people would feel pretty badly burnt by that.
Could you imagine KOTOR 3 on the same engine that Mass Effect 2 was on?
I don't ever say never, but if Anthem is going to be their version of Destiny with all the probably extra ways to make money, like microtransactions and things that are bound to happen, I think they are pretty much they've all but forgotten about what made Mass Effect and BioWare games so fucking magical and amazing back in the day. So yeah, I'm gonna say never. But a remake, that would be the best.
The one particular remake or not HD remaster. I think it's a remake. I think it technically falls into the remake category.
Yep.
Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
How they brought that across to updated that, but they also included some of the bullshit crap that we don't like from the newer COD games, like
it has the loot cases. It has loot cases. It has that, and what's so jarring and weird is it has the swords and the hammers and the melee weapons that you run around with. Because every time I see an ad for new content, like new guns and things being added, they show Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and they're like, "Look, this is the phaser gun, rah 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 rah." And I'm like, "Yep, cool, whatever. I don't want that." But then when it shows Captain Price running around with a fucking broadsword, I just die a little more inside each and every time.
Why?
It's just not right, hey? It's
what? I was actually contemplating buying that.
Yeah, me too. Now that it was separate, but it's not. I feel that it's not really that difficult a game for them to have done in an HD remake, because it's basically applying the visual assets and whatever from Infinite Warfare, which has been probably the same engine anyway. So whatever engine they're using now for Call of Duty, it is the exact same one.
It's probably still the Doom 3 engine from way back when.
Oh my gosh. It is probably still like a really old engine, but yeah, it's whatever version of it is. Like, they've just dusted it off and went, all right, let's just put Modern Warfare through whatever the shit we're developing Infinite Warfare with.
Oh, I think it was actually the Quake 3 engine, not the Doom 3 engine. Quake 3 at its core.
Oh my god.
There we go. Yeah, so it's still Quake 3. Oh, Jesus. Fuck, just break out Team Arena.
Guys, I can't believe we're having this conversation in 2017 about a game we want, like, we were going to purchase that was made on an old engine to begin with, that was remade on probably the exact same old engine, shoved with broadswords in there. Fucking hell.
I guess this is where, if it's broke, if it ain't broke, don't fucking fix it comes into play, but it was broke.
Yeah, pretty much. Alright, well, holy shit. We've got 20 minutes left for another topic that I feel it could go a little bit longer, so we should probably talk about that.
Yeah.
I've been playing... well, I haven't been playing it, actually. I did play a game that the developer and the publisher, they're still trying to shove down people's throats. They're still trying to get it off the ground, even, from its launch, because it just didn't do too well. And that is Ghost Recon Wildlands, or I should say the full name, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Or Four-Man Squad Military Simulator 2017.
Yeah, like skydiving simulator / like it's pretty much it's a squash match from the WWE. Like, you just kick the shit out of some South American dudes with AKs every, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. Like, that's pretty much the game. And I was so excited for this game, and it pretty much just straight after release, it felt repetitive. I thought I'd get back to it with friends, maybe. Hasn't happened. I haven't finished it, like, fully. Yeah, I feel that there are games now where the developer and the publisher just need to pack their bags and move on to something completely new, and Ghost Recon is one of them. What about yourself, Hyper? Anything?
Now that you mention, like enemies, just like the same enemy that you're going around just killing, that reminds me a lot of The Division. And I've got to say, The Division is probably one of those games that I've got to recommend just needs to die.
Is it still receiving?
It's still receiving updates. They're still holding developer live streams. They're still trying to engage with the community. But every time I see one of the posts from Tom Clancy's The Division, I see the same thing that I see with various internet service providers.
Stop.
An entire wall of hate.
Stop. Don't wait. So, and like, do you know who has the toughest gig there with The Division? Is the guy that does the state of the game updates, Hamish, I believe, because he fucking loves the game. He really does. But so much of his job is like wearing that salt-proof vest and just copying it.
The internet commentary is so much full of salt.
Well, yeah, no, look. Fuck me dead. Like, too, like, the Division was released so much earlier than Wildlands, and
it's still going.
Yeah, and Wildlands was pretty much dead straight after release. Like, it didn't need any additional content, I feel. The additional content isn't great, and I learnt my lesson after the first one. I haven't touched the second or third one, or the PvP mode that's coming into the game now. But yeah, the Division sometimes I disagree with the popular opinion on games, and I might like a game that a lot of people don't, and I might hate a game that a lot of people love. With the Division, I loved it when it first came out, but I just felt with every single update, with every single bit of content being added to the game, it just got further and further away from what I had wanted. So It wasn't a bad game when it came out, but it just wasn't my game. I still remember that there's that double agent, Aaron Keener, and we have not got back to him. Like, that's the narrative. That's the game's fucking narrative. We haven't gone back to it.
They should just patch it to be a single player experience and just kill the online component.
Oh, yeah. That really should have just began and ended with the Dark Zone, just for those players that liked it. No underground subway tunnel missions where they're procedurally generated dungeons to get you the same loot that you were already trying to get before, because everyone complained that it had unique loot of its own.
The Dark Zone is cancer. It really is.
It is. But also, I think too with The Division is that they did kowtow to a lot of angry consumers. And that's probably why the game is a fucking mess, because everyone's like, oh, SMGs are overpowered, so they patched SMGs, and everyone's whinging about shotguns, so then they patched shotguns. I just feel they kind of did that too much. There's something to be said for someone that stands by their vision for the game when it first came out, or finds faults of their own, like they find their own faults and go, oh, sorry, this is our bad. But not when people just go, oh, patch this shit. Because could you imagine Overwatch if they listened to everyone whinging about whatever characters all the time? Or do they do that?
I believe they do.
Oh, shit.
And I believe Jeff Kaplan, the creative director behind Overwatch, is quite frequent on the forums and sitting there hitting the ban hammer quite frequently.
Yikes. Like, I'm going to get my ball and go home type of thing.
Like, it's just like somebody was pissing and moaning about the recent Mercy changes. Like, when Mercy came out, who was a healer, she has like these angel wings and she has this fucking staff thing that heals people and shit. Her ultimate ability was a mass res. So when everyone was dead, you hit the mass res as long as you've got it. And then everyone comes back to life. And that was usually the critical turning point for any match where the entire team was pretty much downed and the enemy team was on the point. They would just, mass res and then, fucking push them back. But when it came to the changes that they made for Mercy, they made it so she no longer has the mass res, and it's an individual res. It's no longer a no longer an ult. Her ultimate ability now is to fly around.
I don't know.
And people fucking hated it.
I don't know.
Like they're like, bring it back. Bring it back.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I demand you bring it back. And then Jeff Kaplan's just like, man, yeah, we're taking your feedback on board, but you don't tell us what to do.
Hey, Cinebay, thank you for noticing I never wear sleeves. It's got nothing to do with guns. It's just that it's so freaking hot in my office, and I wish I could have the air conditioner on, but we would not have a podcast if you could hear my air conditioner going. So, yeah, it is the moon's out, scrawny guns out. Thank you. I actually said that today. I was like, I need to find another sleeveless shirt of mine to see if people notice, and they have. So thanks, Cinebay.
Just don't go to a tanning booth, because anyone who gets a fake tan is no.
No, I'm just gonna roll around in Doritos like Donald Trump.
Roll around in Doritos like Donald Trump.
That's clearly what he does. He just nacho cheese tan. Okay, so we feel that should we compile a list here?
Yeah, look.
Division.
A game that I want to throw on there as well.
Yep.
The culling.
Oh.
So you might remember that I actually previewed the culling a long time ago. I think it's going on about 2.5 years now. All right. The culling is basically the same formula as PUBG, or PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. It's a battle royale simulator. Except instead of flying over with a plane and then jumping onto a random island and then having 8 kilometers by 8 kilometers, it's this small section of jungle with like abandoned buildings and shit like that, and a force field dome that you look up at the sky and you can see the scoreboard, and that's kind of cool. But it's all melee weapons, and you've got to shoot. Not shoot people, but attack people with melee weapons or crafted bows and crafted items and that sort of thing.
That kind of sounds different enough to have worked.
You think it would?
Yeah,
But I cannot get a fucking game anymore.
Oh man, you just tickled me with that game, and now not.
No, seriously, like I remember asking the developers for a couple of keys to give out on stream so I could help try and revive, the Australian community, because there's only like 4 or 6 people that I can count that are playing between America and EU.
Yep.
And whenever I've tried.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked them to, hey, can give me a couple of keys and I'll give them out on stream, and we'll see if we can try and revive the Australian community for it. No response. But they're still churning out updates. Whenever I look at the Culling Facebook page or Twitter, it's the same shit, the same salt-ridden shit that I've seen on the Tom Clancy's The Division, internet service provider pages, and more. It's that they've changed it to an extent that fans aren't happy with it, and people stop playing it.
Jeez, I'm just wondering what's left for them at this point. Like when you sum it up like this, then yeah, like take the culling out back and just
shoot it like Old Yeller.
Look at the flowers, the culling. Just look at the flowers, and then bam.
And then the look of disgust on my partner's face when I said that.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
cull it.
Brutal.
Yeah, cull it.
Yeah, exactly. Another one, obviously, that I don't like their latest game, but I like their games released before it, and so therefore I like the Mass Effect Facebook page. And it's like the worst social media marketing where they have one of the cutscenes from the game, which still looks like shit and is still broken. I thought it was like The Room, that really awful movie. Like, I heard the worst acting. Oh, my dog.
Oh, hi, Mark. How's your sex life?
Yeah, it was awful.
You're breaking me apart! I did not hit her. I did not. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, no, it was just like, I thought it was a piss take or a parody or something, but it was legit. Like, this was a cutscene, and it's just, yeah, they show one tiny bit of the game, and all it ever is people begging them to stop, and it never does. And apparently, BioWare just want to keep making multiplayer updates for Mass Effect Andromeda, and that just sucks. It's not what the game's about. I mean, I would have loved some co-op missions, kind of, or drop-in, drop-out co-op if it wasn't too hard to do for a Mass Effect game, but just the way that multiplayer was handled, like, multiplayer came to Mass Effect at the detriment of a single-player campaign, which is not what you want. So yeah, take Mass Effect Andromeda and just stop. And it's so clear that they're building up for Anthem, that big open world game that people are already, even though it's not out yet, comparing to Destiny from BioWare.
Mass Effect Andromeda is, well, I tried to like.
We all tried. We all tried Raptor Shadow. And yeah,
I can just imagine like all these buttons, and it's like playing what is it, Jackbox Party, and it's like Mass Effect is, I tried to like it, not my game, my mother's single player experience.
I'm getting bad movie recommendations from Cinebay. On the topic of The Room, please take the time to watch Fateful Findings or Double Down by Neil Breen. I have actually heard of those. I've actually heard of Fateful Findings, so I will check that out. Thank you, Cinebay. Any other games you can think of, Hyper, that just need to stop?
Not games that need to stop, but games that are doing really, really well despite being several years on.
Ah, yes! Actually, you touched on this before.
Dying Light.
Fuck, they're nailing it. Just...
Dude, like, I reviewed that game for Biohaze ages ago. Like, when we were doing video game reviews on, like, an online website sort of thing. I got keys for that, and I'm like, hey, let's play this. And I gave the other key to Pyro.
Yep.
And I'm like, hey, let's play this. And that still is hands down the best zombie game I've ever played. Yeah,
it's amazing. And from what I can tell, it has this massive community still loving it. And even though it's a mainly single-player driven game, like, it does have drop-in, drop-out co-op, which is awesome. But it's, you know, it's mainly geared towards feeling like an experience that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Yet they added that really good campaign where you go outside the city to, like, the farmy kind of areas, and it's got more vehicles and things. And now for Halloween, they're giving people unlimited grappling hook shots, so you can just, you know, Spider-Man your way across the city, and just things like that, and community missions. And it just... yeah, the engagement they've kept up, the momentum they've kept up with content that is good, is fucking incredible.
I think it was 6 months ago that they announced, like, 10 major updates were coming to the game.
Yeah.
And, like, that is, like, the way that Deep Silver, I think it's Deep Silver that develops it.
Techland and...
Techland, that's it.
Techland, and then
whenever I think of Deep Silver, I think of the developers behind Dead Island.
Yes.
Because Dead Island was a bit of a flop. It was fun, but it was a flop.
Yeah. They basically took everything they learnt from that with Dying Light, I guess, and just made it better.
I want to see whether or not I can play Dead Island on stream. That would be fun.
Yeah, I'd be up for that. Because my favourite thing to do is just to run and jump kick zombies backwards off of things, and then if they're on the ground, then you do the head stomp. Like I used to play that with a bunch of mates on Xbox 360, and it was basically people would shoulder barge or run and knee them or run and jump, and then everyone would just jump on top of their heads and squish them. While we're talking about Dead Island, I have actually played Dead Island 2.
Dead Island 2?
I have played Dead Island 2. Patrick Colin, formerly of IGN Australia, now having his own PR company, Reboot PR. Yeah. I ran into him probably 2 EB Games Expos ago. So the first one that was at Sydney, I'm pretty sure. I ran into him. There was a Dying Light 2 preview. It was a playable alpha. And it actually was really good. I have no idea where the game is now. I have no idea what's going on. And they also said, don't do too much on screen at once, because you will crash the game. And I crashed everyone's game. I fucked up the entire LAN, and I loved it. Yep, thank you. Done. Thank you. Yeah, they said, don't do too much on screen at once. I went, oh, okay. So I went into a nightclub, and there's a power box, and I tried to close all the doors and lock it. But I turned on all the dance floors, all the lights, and all the speakers, and then zombies just came in and rushed everyone. So then I ran outside, and there was a school bus, and I jumped on top of the school bus, found a crate full of Molotovs. It said it contained like 10 or 20 Molotovs. So instead of throwing one at a time, I threw them everywhere. And I set everything on fire, and it looked really, really good. And then blue screen. My time with the game was over. And the guy running the thing too said, mate, you were told, like, what happened? And I went, well, I heard what you said about not doing too much at once, and I said, fuck it, and I did it anyway.
Were they pissed, or...?
Everyone else playing the game had filthy looks, except for my brother, who was laughing so hard he was crying. Because I set him on fire to start it off. He had some football player character, who could run and, like, stack up multiple zombies so that he could, like, push them somewhere. So he did that, and he's like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to die, so I just set him on fire, and then he tackled everything and set it on fire, and that's basically what happened. It was great.
I want to watch it. Like, I want to see this gameplay now. Like, get in touch with Patch and see if he can get us some keys.
Oh, man, I need to know what happened. Those are the times where we could use our power of journalism for good. Like, find out what the fuck is happening. But unfortunately, so many people just don't talk about failed products. Or there's gag orders too. Like, the publisher's like, don't you fucking talk about Dead Island 2 to anyone for the next 10 years. Because I'm pretty sure I'm still not allowed to talk about Fable Legends. Oops.
What's one of the other games that they just, like, sort of ceased development recently, and it's been, like, dead for the last 2 years? I can't remember.
Something big?
It's something big. I remember it was something that I was excited for, and I went to, like, I hadn't heard anything about it for a while, and then I went to go look, and it's like, oh yeah, no, development on this had ceased like 2 years ago, and I was like, what the fuck?
I don't know, but there was an RPG series that I'm going to tell everyone to check out the trailer for. The trailer was, I believe the trailer title was called Someone Special. The game was called Edge of Twilight, and it was a steampunk RPG, and it looked fucking incredible. There is a clip where this guy has, like, a battle axe with a shotgun on the other end. So he, like, points it and blows people in half, and that. The physics on his cape, like, it's all tattered and got holes in it. It flicks backwards when he shoots the gun, like that, and blood from your enemies goes through it, and it even manages to go through the holes in your cape and things like that. And the voice acting was spot on. It looked like a really dark, really mature Fable. And yeah, the city itself was all like giant cogs and clockwork and brass. It just looked goddamn amazing. And I hadn't heard anything about that game. Like a couple of years ago, I was like, what happened to Edge of Twilight? It was worse than cancelled. It was turned into a endless runner game on mobiles because their money had run out, and they were trying to recoup it that badly that they turned it into a Temple Run clone or whatever, like those games are. So yeah. Untitled Goose Game. That looks amazing.
Oh yeah,
asshole Goose.
Cinebay was showing me that the other day. It's like just the whole idea of being a goose that's running around and trolling the farmer.
Yeah,
like stealing his wallet, stealing his shovel, opening the door and stealing his radio, and just like running around a statue. That sounds fucking great.
Yeah, I can't think of a name for it off the top of my head, but a lot of people said just keep it called Untitled Goose Game or just Goose Game. Something along the lines of fuck with humans, maybe. Except
fuck with humans.
Yeah, something like that. It really is just a troll game though, and I think it looks good, especially the stealth aspect of it. You're gonna have to, if you think of this game, you're gonna have to talk about it more in the Crit Damage community.
Cinnabe's not on Facebook anymore, so she deleted her Facebook account.
Look, I don't blame people, but there's no real alternatives to it, so we're stuck with it for now.
Fuck you, Zuckerberg.
Well, look, man, exactly, because Glove and Boots, two YouTuber personalities I love, can't make videos anymore for the time being because the algorithm for Facebook is fucking them that hard. And it also explains why a lot of the stuff I do, which, if you know me, it's fucking pure gold, is not getting the views it should on Facebook.
Yeah.
That was a bit of an ego stroke, but whatever. But, yeah, alright, well, we're on 9 o'clock, unless you have something else to bring up.
What have you been playing, Nick?
Alright. I've been playing Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, which is a mobile game. I can't stop. I have a problem. Send help.
You see, I downloaded it to check it out because
you just lost respect for me?
Not so much lost respect for you. Like, I've never played Animal Crossing because I didn't own a 3DS.
Oh, okay.
But tell me, what the fuck is the point of that game?
I don't know. I don't think it needs a point. It's just, it's more about the people. Like, I guess if you take your town building games, and you do influence the town in Animal Crossing games, like you build little improvements here and there, but it's more about meeting just the cute inhabitants that are anthropomorphic animals. And yeah, it's just this cute, wholesome, innocent kind of game. And when I play it, yeah, like it's a bit of a collectathon too. Like the console games, you collect all the different bugs and fish and fossils and other cool stuff there is to collect. You can either donate to the museum, or you can display it, or you can give it as gifts. But Pocket Camp is basically, you're just making the coolest campsite you can, meeting all these different animals while they're on holiday and making friends, and it's fucking fun. That's all it has to be, is that it's a mobile game and it's fun. But I feel that I'm finally reaching the point where I'm feeling the give us money squeeze, the pulling of the purse strings, because I now have to wait 18 hours or something like that for some of the features to be built. So, yeah.
Oh, speaking of paying for a game while you're waiting for features to be built, Elite Dangerous.
Oh, Elite Dangerous.
That's a topic for another podcast.
Yeah, actually, that game needs not even like half an hour. It's a full night on its own. But yeah, no, I've been playing the crap out of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, and I just started.
You also collect depression.
You also collect depression. Holy shit! Little bit. A lot of the animals are moats.
Salts.
But yeah, and I just started The Evil Within 2 because I finally had enough time to do that, and it does not wait to get bullshit, batshit insane. It starts off ridiculous and goes even further more into the ridiculous. So yeah, I'm actually really enjoying it.
Okay.
It feels a lot like a Resident Evil game though. I'd be surprised if it wasn't developed by a Japanese developer. Like, you know, just that Capcom look that cutscenes have, and characters have, and the voice acting has. Like, the whole game feels like a giant love letter to Resident Evil 4. Whether or not that's a good thing, I'm not too sure yet, as I've just started the game. So watch out for that review. But what have you been playing, Hyper?
So since we got the double copies of Shadow of War, I've been playing that in conjunction with WWE 2K18.
Yes.
Finally finished my WWE 2K18 review, which you guys, if you haven't read it already, go and check it out on critdamage.tv. I kind of ripped it to shreds.
You did a great job.
Oh no! Like I love the feedback that you've given me that I've done a really good article, but I feel like as if I tore that game a new asshole. And I saved Raptor Shadow $100 apparently.
Fuck. Yeah, no, look, it's man, it is really a game that you can skip. The last one was too. I have no idea what goes into the planning of WWE games outside of the content. Like, I get what they do for downloadable content, but as we said before, there's a better way to do these things. And the more and more they peel back the curtain, like, yes, again, we've said this before, kayfabe is dead, but the more they go, this is a sports simulation as opposed to embracing the spirit of wrestling, I just can't do it.
I classify as a fidget spinner.
Who are these people? This is your audience.
Oh my god.
My god.
Oh my god.
Piper, take your Ritalin, alright? Be professional.
Sinfully Ritalin. Shadow of War, I've been playing that, so despite, hating on the fact that it has drop boxes, I still find the game to be fun, and it was enough for me to want to purchase the original game while it was on sale. I've done that. I've also tried playing Hollow Knight, since they had the new update recently, like the free new update. I really need to stream that more because I want to finish that game. The game is beautiful.
It's on my list of...
Oh, and Paladin's Strike on Android.
Tell me about Paladin's Strike, because I played a bit of Paladins when it came out.
Yeah, you played Paladins on the PC, but did you play the Paladin's Strike?
Not yet, I have it installed.
Okay, so Paladin's Strike is basically the Paladin's IP as a League of Legends-like MOBA, but it's on an Android device, and I've been looking for a decent MOBA to play at work. I mean, I thought I found it with Vainglory. Vainglory is a really, really popular esports title for mobile, and on Android and on tablet. And then that did me over for a little while, but it was just, I just don't feel connected to any of these characters at all. And then I found that then there was a release, like a page, the Paladins page on Facebook, and they did a sponsored post, and it came up on my feed, and it's like, Paladin's Strike now available. I'm like, oh, okay, what's this? Download, as I do at work, download like game after game after game. And I tried it out. I'm like, oh my god, this is so much fun. And just the deathmatch mode alone is just fun. Yeah.
That's cool. I have to check it out. It's interesting too that games like Paladins and Overwatch, they kind of were an alternative to your more traditional MOBAs, and now they've kind of gone, bugger it, let's do one as well on mobiles. I think that's clever.
Yeah.
Alright, well, yeah, no, I've got it installed and I'll definitely check it out.
I can't think of any games that I'm looking forward to, though.
Look, I'll no doubt trip over an indie game here and there and be tickled by it, but I feel like now we're waiting for maybe the I don't know, the Christmas rush or things. There's games that have come out too that we should probably check out, like Wolfenstein 2 and South Park: The Fractured But Whole. But then again, I know someone that finished the new South Park game, said it was super duper short. So
I haven't played the first one. Like, the reason that I haven't played the first South Park game is because they censored it in Australia.
Yep.
Even though that we have the fucking R18 rating.
Yep. I just didn't like that it was a turn-based game. I don't like turn-based RPGs too much. Like, if they made a South Park that was like a Diablo, I'd probably be all over it.
I'm still waiting for a Diablo-esque game to come to Android, so I can play that at work.
Torchlight? Oh wait, isn't there a Torchlight sort of game on mobile?
There was meant to be a Torchlight mobile, and then, as far as I can tell, that's died.
Oh, okay.
Development behind it's died. Anyway, folks, look, that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's podcast, but the stream is not over. Right, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a short break, swapping the stream keys around, and then popping on to play some Dead by Daylight with Duba, Raspberry Sheep, Cinnabay. Why not?
Well, I haven't had dinner first, and I have a friend in crisis, which I think they're driving from like an hour away to come talk to me about a massive life event they have going on. So
Hey, Cap Howdy, how you doing,
friend
mate?
first, deranged psychopath killer second is my motto.
All right.
Sometimes.
Well, yeah, I've still got 2 other people that I can play with, which is Cinnabay and Raspberry Sheep.
Shit, yeah.
Gonna do some mass murdering. Mass murderer,
Yeah.
natural born killer. I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I listen to much rap. Thank you for the follow there, Cap Howdy. How you doing? Team Down Under represent. Yo.
How dare I
How
be
dare you
kind
be
and caring?
kind and caring?
This is why I'm a bad killer, because like I pick people up, I get to that point, and then I just hug them for a bit and let them run away. I'm like, yeah. Basically playing catch and kiss, that really fucked up game everyone played as kids in primary school. That's how I Dead by Daylight. Yeah, if you enjoy my stupid musings and pasty white arms, don't forget to follow me, because Hyper's getting all the glory here on his channel.
We can. I'm not sure if we can add multiple people to the project, but try it. We'll try it next week.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, that's it for us on the Critcast. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and all that other fun stuff. And I will see you guys in a few moments for Dead by Daylight with
Have
my 2
fun
guests.
killing.
Bye. Be back in like 5 or so minutes.